Neural Undertow. The unnatural data flow hides a link to the past. 1 week after Odessa's interim chief took office, inside the hotel suite, while the pall over Odessa has not yet dispersed, Kalina and company are still scheduled to set out for Libib. The group begins preparing for the journey early in the morning. Kalina is tidying up documents at her desk while Lena is hopping from foot to foot as she packs their suitcases. Hehe, we can leave this boring old hotel at last. I cannot wait to head for Libib and see the commander again. Oh, I'm sure Kalin feels the same way, don't you, Kalin? Kalina interrupts Leba's banter as her cheeks burn red. We're rushing to Libib to pick up Helena ASAP. Also, your neural cloud needs an immediate deep examination from Persica. Yeah, that's her Kalin for you. Everything she does is for the job. She definitely doesn't stay up at night, gazing longingly at the map. Yep, that's her sneaky little Kalin. When she thinks nobody was looking, she secretly goes commando stalking. I swear I didn't see anything. Why you? Kalina makes towards her sisters, intent on knuckling their heads. Lena grabs Kalina's and Leba's arms, pulling them all into a jiggling group hug. However, the light-hearted mood doesn't last for long. A sudden transmission interrupts their antics. Director? After hearing Kryuger's stern voice, Kalina gestures to Leba and Lena before heading over to the floor-to-ceiling windows by herself. Leba, want to go buy some Odessan souvenirs afterwards? We've got space in our luggage, so we can get something for the commander. Lena kneels by a suitcase and waves merrily to Leba. However, Leba glances over to where Kalina is and lightly places her finger on her lips in a shushing gesture. Shh. Lena gets her meaning and covers her mouth before lowering her voice. Oops, should we ask Kalin too? She might want to buy something too. Lena looks expectantly at Leba, but Leba merely looks at Kalina and gently shakes her head. The long call is finally over some time later. Understood. I'll expedite the follow-up matters to the best of my ability. Frowning, Kalina hangs up the call with Ryuger and sighs heavily. Lena sidles up to her and places a concerned hand on her shoulder. How was it, Kalin? Can we head out? Did Ryuger secretly assign us a new mission since we're heading up to Libib? Kalina sighs and ruffles Lena's hair before turning to look at Leba. Sorry, Leba, but I don't think I'll be able to accompany you for that neural cloud module checkup. Huh? What does that mean? You mean you are not going with us, Kalin? Leba shrugs, as though she's already anticipated this outcome. Is our dear Kalin going to be left behind cleaning up the mess that old fox left in his wake by order of the director? Kalina smiles bitterly. The investigation is part of it. On the surface, Zimmerman's just taken the seat of interim-chief. Meanwhile, the Odessa Oblast government has issued several new ordinances today. As such, the director wants me to remain in Odessa as a representative of NOMPA and facilitate the upcoming handover. So, I'm sorry, Leba. I was planning to head out with you once today's business was settled, but given the present circumstances, I'll be spending at least 2 weeks in Odessa. Hehe, what's there to be sorry for? It's just 2 more weeks. Lena and I can just keep standing by. No, I will contact the commander again about the meetup. I don't want to delay your neural cloud examination any further. Leba, I want you to head out ASAP. I'll contact Persica about this. Yep, I'm all for Leba going for the checkup too. Besides, things in Odessa have stabilized, so I'll be enough to protect Kalin by myself. Lena happily hugs Leba. The latter simply ruffles Lena's hair with a slight smile. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm going to stay. Huh? Leba? Why? Kalin, you should understand, right? You drew a lot of attention during the Battle of the Big Bridge. Even if things have calmed down for the moment, you're still a representative of NOMPA. That means the number of eyes on you is only going to increase. We cannot afford to lower our guard no matter what. Besides, there are still those 2 mysterious Sturgeon dolls to worry about. I don't think Lena could take them by herself if they decided to ambush us. Since you are not objecting, it's decided then. Let's just wait until the handover's done and then we'll all go together. That way, none of us will be left behind. But as she looks at the worried faces in front of her, Leba suddenly bursts into laughter. Oh, come on. Why are the two of you like this? Relax. I'm fully aware of the state of my neural cloud. The damage I took earlier won't affect my functionality. Delaying the diagnostic by a couple of weeks isn't a big deal, and I'll do my daily maintenance too. Then off you go to the repair pod, Leva. Since there's nothing going on at the moment, Kalen will be fine with just me by her side. Lena grabs her sister's arm to drag her away, but Leva reluctantly pulls away and places a hand on Lena's shoulder. Okay, I'll go once I finish my tasks at hand. Once everything is done, Leva returns to her room and adjusts the pod, preparing for her daily maintenance regimen. However, she pauses halfway after hearing a rustling sound from behind her. Aren't you going to come out? Upon hearing Leva, Lena pops her head out from behind the door and moves over to stand in front of Leva with a sheepish smile on her face. Hehe, you noticed me, Leva? What are you being all sneaky-peeky for? Got something to say? I was just thinking. After muttering to herself for a bit, Lena clenches her fist to gather her courage before looking up. I'm here to apologize to you, Leva. I shouldn't have kept your memory loss a secret for selfish reasons. I know how important UMP-40 is to you, but in any case, I'll never do it again. After saying that, Lena lowers her head again, as though she's prepared for a scolding from Leva. However, all Leva does is raise her hand and gently pat Lena's head. Got it. Well, since you already know what you did wrong, I suppose I'll forgive you just this once. Really? Leva? For some reason, Lena isn't cheering up despite being forgiven by Leva. Her eyes are darting around the room. While Leva doesn't quite know why Lena's feeling that way, she still picks up on her sister's uneasiness and pinches her cheeks. The Lena I know wouldn't get hung up on such small things. Or are you saying that you're still hiding something else from me? Huh? No, I'd never. Yep, I know you wouldn't be bold enough to do bad things like that. Still, if there's nothing else, I'll be going into the pod now. Leva lets go with a smile, then turns to enter the repair pod. However, Lena suddenly reaches out to grab her. Leva, wait, please. Lena throws herself into Leva's embrace without any warning. Leva, could you stay for a while? I've been really happy these few days while I was with you. What's the matter, Lena? I never told Kalen I'd be going off on my own. No, that's not. What I mean is, once your neural cloud is fixed, you will remember. I know that she's really important to you. But I just cannot help thinking that it would be nice if these days could just keep going on. Lena's voice gets softer and softer. Leva cannot see her face, but she senses an inexplicable unease radiating from Lena. She gently pats Lena's back. Hehe, but I'll still be here, Lena. Don't let your mind wander, okay? Yeah, I know, but I'm just worried about you. Lena nuzzles her fluffy hair against Leva's chest. A moment later, she looks up and tries her best to smile. I'm sorry, Leva. I shouldn't have let my imagination run wild. Right now, stabilizing your neural cloud is the most important thing. That means getting you into the repair pod ASAP and making sure you get all fixed up. Before Leva can reply, Lena is already pushing Leva into the pod. After hooking up Leva, Lena quickly leaves the room. As she watches Lena leave, Leva gently shakes her head. Oh, that Lena. Looks like I'll need to have a good chat with her after I finish my examination. Now, Leva closes her eyes and connects to level 2. In the blue environs of level 2, Leva floats lightly like she always does. System maintenance in progress. Now scanning data. Scanning data. Data scan failed. Alert. System error. Alert. System error. Leva fires up the maintenance program again, but the ear-piercing warning from her neural cloud interrupts the code's functionality. System error. Operation terminated. System error. Operation terminated. Once again, Leva tries to restart the program, but the intense disruption from her neural cloud makes her body feel heavier and heavier, to the point where she can barely keep her eyes open. The weight crushes her and Leva slowly closes her eyes. However, a strange voice seems to be approaching her from the darkness. Leva! Is someone calling me? Leva, wake up! You cannot fall asleep here! Hey! Leva forces her eyes open as someone violently shakes her body, and then a blurry form comes into view in front of her. Thank goodness, you're awake. Quick, follow me. The indistinct figure holds out an anxious hand, trying to drag Leva along with her. However, Leva stumbles back warily. Who are you? Why are you in my neural space? Shrill alert once again derails the train of Leva's thoughts. Insufficient system memory. Computation failed. Insufficient system memory. Computation failed. Quit standing around and follow me, Leva. Otherwise, it will be too late. The indistinct figure grabs Leva and drags her forward. Over here. Unable to shake off the hand holding her arm, Leva is forced to run along with the mysterious figure. After running for a while, they stop in front of a small room. This place is... Wait, what is this room? Why is there something in my neural cloud which never existed? What have you done? What's going on? Can't think. Don't worry so much about that. Quick, get in. Not seeming to care about Leva's hesitation, the mysterious figure pulls her into the room. Hehe, alright, you're safe now. Wait, this is... It's a place where you can rest and get all better, Leva. The figure interrupts Leva halfway with a snap of her fingers. Click! The room's door suddenly closes. Wait! Hehe, too late. Just relax for now and have a good nap, Leva. I guarantee that by the time you wake up, everything will be back to normal. As the indistinct voice fades, the floor below Leva's feet, which is composed entirely of solidified data, suddenly collapses. Damn it, I can't control my body. Leva struggles as hard as she can as she falls. However, the ghostly blue data around her is like an abyss, pulling her into unfathomable depths below. Soon, Leva's form vanishes from view and the collapsed data surface returns to normal. That should do it. The indistinct figure seems to smile. She turns and begins looking around. More and more data fragments are coming into existence in midair, and more cracks appear on the ground. It's like this already? This place is a mess. Still, that's fine too. This is the perfect chance to make a big scene. That's strange. The maintenance should have been completed over half an hour ago. Why hasn't Leva woken up yet? Leva? Lena pounds on the outside of the repair pod, but no matter how hard she hammers on it or tries to fiddle with its controls, the sleeping Leva does not respond. After her repeated attempts to wake Leva up meet with failure, Lena finally gives up and runs to Kalina's suite. Kalin, come quick. I think there's something wrong with Leva. The inside of Leibniz's lab is quiet. The only sound that can be heard is that of the repair pod. Leva is transported to Leibniz's lab, where Leibniz performs a quick examination, but any emergency measures she attempts prove ineffective. Leibniz immediately contacts Persica. Leva is currently lying in the repair pod, her eyes closed and unresponsive as she undergoes a remote data diagnostic. Outside it, 3 people are nervously eyeing a transmission screen that has been silent for far too long. Finally, after an almost unbearable silence has passed, Persica finally stops banging on her keyboard and stretches. I feel like that's a bad yawn. Right, I get it now. Persica, what's going on? Yeah, is Leva in danger? Oi, quiet down. I cannot hear Miss Persica speak. Calm down and listen to me. Persica brings up a diagram showing the condition of Leva's neural cloud. The large number of bright red alerts on the screen are quite shocking. This is the current state of Leva's neural cloud. You see all these memory bars here, the ones that are flashing red? They are filled with junk from redundant data. Said junk is clogging up her internal memory, which makes it unresponsive to commands. That's why Leva's not waking up. Huh? But why is that? Logically speaking, her redundant data should have been cleared away during her daily maintenance sessions. That's right, it should have been cleared away. However, this redundant data is a little special. You know there's an entity called UMP-40 in Leva's neural cloud, right? Yep, 40 was Leva's Well, after 40 died during Operation Butterfly, Leva simulated her personality in her base layer, using her memories of UMP-40 as a reference. Creating a virtual persona because she couldn't cope with the loss, that doesn't sound like something Leva would do. Still, Leva ultimately retained that persona. Since this additional persona eats into Leva's neurocloud memory, I configured UMP-40 to act as a secondary computing core for Leva's neurocloud. That way, the two of them can function normally. Also, I added a dedicated data clearing program so Leva can periodically remove the redundant data generated by 40. I get it now. Normally, Leva would have done this data clearing on a regular basis, but after she was attacked by that weird doll, Leva's neurocloud was damaged and she forgot about UMP-40, as well as the fact that 40 generates redundant data. So now, Leva's neurocloud is filled with redundant data, which is why she's passed out like she's blue screen. That was a pretty accurate summation of the situation. Clever girl, Lena. Indeed, the last time Leva used the cleanup program was the day before her neurocloud was damaged. That much is consistent with my current hypothesis. Well, now that we have figured things out, the solution is simple. I'm going to use a program to clear the data and Leva should wake up soon enough. Saying so, Persica begins typing rapidly and the cleaning program can be seen running on the screen in front of her. The group goes silent as they watch the progress bar inch forward. Leibniz carefully raises her hand. Miss Persica, there's a question I'd like to ask about what you said just now. What is it? You mentioned Operation Butterfly. What was that all about? And why did Leva and UMP-40 end up involved with it? Operation Butterfly. Now that's a topic that hasn't come up in a while. Why do you want to know? I heard some rumors saying that it involved Mr. Lyko, but I cannot find anything about it in the records. It's been over 10 years since then, but they're still keeping such a tight lid on it. A look of disgust crosses Persica's face. Simply put, it was a conspiracy designed to steal Lyko's legacy. A squad was sent into the Sangbisferi main manufacturing plant in the name of conducting an investigation. Then Paraplu virus was released by another squad, which would rewrite the neuroclouds of the dolls taking part in the operation. So, Mr. Lyko's legacy was related to the OGAS system? Strictly speaking, it involved control authority over the OGAS system. In other words, it involved Elisa. Wow, the name drop from Girls Funny One. The AI that Lyko devoted his life to creating. They wanted to control Elisa through Lyko. But Lyko died, which made Elisa uncontrollable. Then the Paraplu virus caused the dolls taking part in the op to end up under Sangbisferi control, resulting in massive losses among the ops team. Leva was one of the few survivors. Persica glances toward Lena as she mentions Leva's name. However, Lena is not really paying attention to all this. Her head is lowered as she gazes intently at Leva with a worried look on her face. Leibniz, on the other hand, seems quite surprised. Miss Persica, is the Paraplu virus really that incredible? It is that incredible. I mean, no other dolls out there use the OGAS protocol besides Leva, who refused to change her frame. It could forcibly rewrite its host OS into using the OGAS protocol, which was the cutting edge of technology back then, mind you. Mind you, that was 10 years ago. Nowadays, Persica's eyes flicker over the monitor, then she begins typing at high speed again. Before long, she frowns. This is supposed to be a small issue. Why is it being such a pain? What's wrong, Persica? Is there a problem with Leva? It's not much of a problem, but the neural attack she was hit with earlier caused Leva's own data to get jumbled up with 40's redundant data. Now neither of them is responding, and the clearing program I'm using might end up causing additional damage to this blended data, so I've got to manually clear it away. But that's way too inefficient. The most ideal solution would be to reset Leva's OGAS system. If we got rid of UMP-40's data, that would also remove the issues plaguing Leva's neurocloud at the source. No, you can't. Lena, who had been spacing out until just now, rushes over to the screen and frantically waves her arms. Leva would never agree to getting rid of UMP-40. Leva was already in a lot of pain after forgetting 40, and I don't want to see her suffer again. Hey, I knew you'd say that, Lena. You're right. Leva's been so insistent on preserving her neural records of 40 over these years. She even refused to change out her frame. There's no way she'd ever agree to what I suggested just now. I simply mentioned it as a possibility. Therefore, to quickly fix Leva's neural cloud malfunction, we need you, Lena. Me? I can help Leva? Yep, you are going to enter Leva's neural space and manually clear the redundant data. It's the quickest and most precise method we have. Really? Then, what do I need to prepare? I'll head out right now. Can I go now, Persica? Good girl, just let me finish these settings first. Oh, and there's one more thing you need to do besides clearing the redundant data. Persica pauses. There is a rare look of uncertainty on her face. Based on the calculations from the current logs, Leva ought to have had excess memory left over. Even after factoring in a fixed daily increase in redundant data, she should have been able to continue functioning, which doesn't match up with how she suddenly entered sleep mode. Are you saying there might be another problem with Leva's neural cloud? There might. Well, whatever it is, we'll only be able to tell once we check it out. I hope the worst case scenario won't come to pass. And that would be resetting Leva's OGAS system. I doubt anyone here wants that, right? So yeah, Lena has a lot on her plate. You can handle it, can't you, Lena? Persica shoots Lena a meaningful look, but Lena seems distracted by something else and only responds when Persica calls her name again. Eh? Huh? Of course. You're acting like a test machine that's out of RAM. What's on your mind? I was thinking, since Leva forgot 40 and we don't know what happened to those neural records, then wouldn't it be terrible if something happened to that data? Well, it's hard for us to determine what's going on from the outside. Maybe it's become junk data. Maybe it's mixed up with the junk data. But either way, you'll have to take care of it once you go in there. You can take care of it, right? Of course, no problem. I'll do a good job for Leva's sake. Now then, let's go over your mission again. I'm going to enter Leva's neural space, clear the redundant data, then figure out the hidden reason behind her comatose state. Is that it? Yep, the entry program has been properly configured. Are you ready? Lena clenches her fist, then she smiles at Persica through the screen. Yep, I'm ready. Let's begin. This time, I need to protect Leva's memories of UMP-40, the most precious thing in her heart.